Education Minister Heng Swee Keat told Parliament that funding for schools is decided on a needs basis. He says this takes into account programs offered by the school and how many students actually participate in them. It also looks at the profile of the student body as well as the overall enrollment. A review was recently conducted by the Education Ministry to assess if independent schools are resourced appropriately. As a result, 6 out of 10 independent schools received more funding, while 4 schools saw their funding trimmed. But Mr. Heng stressed that funding does not have to be compromised for one school to benefit another.
Singapore is fortunate to be in a position to invest heavily in education. Funding for the various schools is not a zero-sum game. We do not have to cut funding to one school to give to another. With good economic growth and healthy fiscal positions, the Ministry of Finance provides sufficient resources to fund every school to meet our educational objectives.
Mr. Heng had been asked how much funding for secondary level education is given on average for different categories of schools. He says making comparisons of schools across the board would not be meaningful, since this does not take into account similar overheads that schools have to bear regardless of enrollment.